to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again in a Saturday afternoon, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is the fan favorite, the Cajun Cowboy.
I don't see no fans, man.
Well, I'm trying to look. I'm looking at YouTube here. We've got no viewers yet.
Sweet.
They will come. It is windy. It is cold. And
thank God. Thank God it's starting to turn into winter.
You like the wind. You like the cold, huh?
I like the winter, yeah.
I'll tell you about my class in just a little while. They were not a big fan of the wind today.
Okay.
So, in joining us on the phone on the on our fan call-in line, that's what I'm going to call it, west of the Rockies. No, this is Daniel Schneider. Daniel, are you there?
I'm here, loud and clear, and from hot Arizona, so we're good to go.
How warm was How warm was it over there?
Today was in the 80s, so all of us here in Arizona took our parkas out.
Oh my gosh, it's freezing over there. I actually, when I left the house to come out here and do the podcast, I told my wife that if she wanted to, she could, grab some. She could grab some firewood and fire up the wood stove if she wanted.
Good grief, man.
It's cold in my house.
No.
I went out. I had class today. And the first part of the day, it was raining this morning and the wind was blowing.
Man, I'm ready to barbecue, man. I can have the grill outside going with that cool air. I'm ready to go, man.
It was cold, man. So I went, and as soon as they went to lunch, I went outside. I put on some thermals, man. I put on the long underwear.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's cold out there. Wind's blowing. Targets are blowing everywhere. The tables blew over this morning. People are looking at me like, we're really going to shoot in this? And I'm like, yes, we are. Because I'm not going to chase you down for the next 2 weeks to get you to come finish your class.
As long as the dirt ain't blowing in my eyes, I like it.
Well, that's what was nice. We got all that rain. So I put a bunch of new, you haven't been out there. I put a bunch of new dirt on the range, and we've been in the middle of like a drought. And so for the last 3 months, every time you'd shoot into that, if the wind was blowing wrong, it was this huge dust storm would come over you. It was just like this fine, flowery powder. It was absolutely horrible. And so today was the first day it was actually wet and no dust.
Yeah, just tell them it's like the Old West.
Some of them shot like it was the Old West too.
I'll import some, tumbleweed for you guys over there.
Yeah, you need to, man.
That would be great. There's people that make they just sell tumbleweeds. They make a fortune off.
There was a guy, and this is way not a topic of firearms or the Second Amendment. There was a place, and when I lived in Kansas, there was a guy over there that would get tumbleweeds and he would sell them, and he would put them in these boxes, and he'd sell like one tumbleweed at a time to places. He made a fortune doing that.
Yeah, there's
selling weeds.
Yeah, well, you can sell it to like producers and movie studios and stuff, and some people just want them, and the bigger the better, man. You can charge a fortune for some of those things, and it's just weeds you find.
I know a guy here in town that raises bullfrogs. Okay. This is way off topic, but he raises bullfrogs and he trains them to like eat out of your hand. And so like he sells them.
He's got trained bullfrogs.
Yeah, and so he sells them to like movies. To like people in Hollywood to like make these movies, and then they like spend lots of money on them, buy them, and then when they're done, they don't want them, so they just send them back to them.
Trained bullfrogs. I did not know.
Only in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Okay. This fella's got some time on his hands.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Training bullfrogs.
So you're not selling bullfrogs or tumbleweeds or anything over there, are you, Daniel?
Oh, I'm here. Just can't believe on those bullfrogs, man.
So, I'm trying to think. So, we like to go around and we ask. We'll start with the Cajun Cowboy. We'll start with Tarver over here. What have you done lately that has been Second Amendment related, sir?
I have been working 60 hours a week, and for the last couple of days, doing nothing but sleeping. So that's it.
Now you're going to take all those big dollars that you've earned, and you're gonna spend them on guns, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a big old bill from the IRS.
I do know a gentleman. Our buddy Paul, he actually came to class today because his son was taking it. And yesterday, he just about picked up the Canik, I don't know what they had, the Meta, I think. He just about bought
Something
one.
like that.
He just about bought one yesterday.
Where from?
Quick response.
Oh,
Firearms.
the new.
Yeah. So get this, and I'm not trying to
That's
dig.
a nice piece, guys. That's a really nice piece.
Have you shot that new one?
I have not shot it, but I've seen a bunch of people in the range here that have them, and I haven't made friends yet.
Well, he's supposed to bring it out as soon as he gets it, because I know you're going to want to try it out.
Yeah, maybe I just might go get it. I know it's good.
Well, he went to the store, and he said he was a little irritated when he went to the store. He was looking at these guns, and sometimes you're going to get good gun counter guys and not so good gun counter guys. And he said he was there. He was asking questions. He was looking at it, right? And then the store started to get, I won't say kind of busy, but some more people came in. And he said the guy looked at him and was like, "So you going to buy this thing or not?" And he goes, "You know what? I'm not now." And he said he set it back down on the counter and walked out. Says he's going to have to order one or do something, but he's not going to go in there and buy a firearm anymore.
It depends. What's the price?
That's a hell of a closing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a closing. You going to buy this thing or not? So
They are salespeople, and they get compensated for selling a specific gun. So can't blame them, but got to know that you don't go to a gun store to buy a gun for your first gun. So
yeah. So other than that, I'm trying to think of what else. Let's talk about my class today, right?
Okay.
Tough crowd. They stuck it out through the wind. They stuck it out through the rain. They did. So
Oh, man, I'm loving this weather.
I know you are. It's interesting, and I'm not trying to pick on people in my class. Well, I kind of do sometimes,
Okay.
right? But you ever have, and maybe you have, I know you do some classes and stuff too, Daniel, so maybe you can understand this. I know I was sending you pictures earlier in the week. I was talking to you about some people that I had shooting. They come over to go shooting. They'd taken lots and lots of classes, and then when they show up to shoot, you're like, "Did you retain anything that we talked about?" And in the class I had today, great people, right? Then we all have to start somewhere. And, there's always the guy or that person or that student that tells you that they know everything. They know everything. Yeah, you're laughing.
Oh,
Yeah, you already know, right? I mean, and he was irritated because we were shooting too close. And I'm like, you struggle shooting
Let's
this.
get the fundamentals
You
first, man.
struggle shooting this close, and you wanted to move further back. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here, but you've run across those, haven't you?
Oh yes, every class has one.
And you can pick them out at the very beginning. You just know who they are.
They usually wear all the tactical, cool stuff, tactical stuff, and they roll their eyes when you go over the basics. When you figure it out, that's the person, then you ask specific questions, just in that person to see the knowledge right before you go to the range. You're going to have to pay attention to them because they're probably the most unsafe people in the range.
Yeah. And I had a lot of people wanting to keep their,
What was the caliber that was?
the 40.
Okay, it was 40.
Yeah, it was a 40. And, and I don't know, it wasn't necessarily the guy's fault. He was shooting a 40, like Beretta PX Storm. And there's literally there's no texture to that gun. I don't know if you've ever picked one of those up.
I picked one up and put it down.
They are slick, man. There's no good way to grip that gun unless you go in there with go in there with a stipple gun and fix it yourself or put on a rubber grip. That thing was just all over the place. Have you ever shot one of those, Daniel?
No, I've seen a couple of students come up with them, and yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite. The old with a 92F, those are my favorite when it comes to Berettas.
Yeah. So this guy actually had a little bit of, and I like those. So this guy had a little bit of a backstory. His great grandpa is John Moses Browning. And I was asking him why he didn't have a 1911.
My great grandfather was Moses.
Hey, that's my territory, buddy.
Oh man. Anyhow, it was.
If you gotta one up him, go all the way.
There you go. Yeah, that was a good class. I mean, it was an enjoyable class. It was kind of small, but sometimes those are the best ones, right? I mean, everyone was just wowed. Like no one in that class had shot a red dot before. So as we passed my gun up and down the firing line so everyone could take a shot with it. They loved it. I think I probably sold like 3 or 4. Well, I didn't sell, but they're probably going to go and buy like 3 or 4 red dots. I really need to start getting kickbacks off these things.
You do.
What?
You do. Start selling red dots. You don't need a license to sell red dots.
I know. I need to up my game. So you shoot with a red.
That's an offline conversation.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Do you shoot a red dot, Daniel?
No, I old eyes and got used to some couple things, and I can't say I have any experience with red dots. I tried a couple times, but old eyes and glasses, it just doesn't work.
Right. I didn't. I was, and Tarver over here, he'll remember when I was totally against the red dots.
Oh man.
I mean, it was people would come here and try to convince me to get a red dot. Finally, I got a red dot. My eyes are getting a little older.
You laughed at them. You mocked them.
I did. I mocked them.
Get that silly trash out of here.
I did. I fought it on. I have a radio show. I fought it on. I fought it on this. I made fun of everybody, and I got one. And I tell you what, it's hard to go back. They're fast and they're fun, and I enjoy it.
I think that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
it's just another $400, $500.
Well, I
got a few guns,
Yeah, oh yeah. You'll put one, like I put one. I've got one, and I put it on my VP9, my carry gun, and all of a sudden I think I need like 4 more. I need to have them on every gun, and then that means I have to buy another gun of every gun that I have.
Well,
so I have one with irons, one with red dots.
As soon as you buy one, you're gonna find one that you like more.
The holster's easy. You just cut it away. You just, I got like a $250 holster, and once I decided I was going to do this, I took it in my back room, fired up the freaking cordless Dremel tool, and we fixed that real quick. I'm sure the holster maker, if he had seen that, he was probably going, "Don't do that." And I'm just, it fits. Look, I didn't even pencil it in. I just roughed it in with the freaking Dremel tool and just cut it to shreds.
And rubber file on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you just got to make stuff work. You got to be handy. So, what about you, Daniel? Have you done anything Second Amendment related?
And what is your preferred shooter? I'm curious about. What is your preferred handgun?
Yes.
So when I came back from front side just Tuesday after a 4-day handgun class over there, which we'll talk about later, but. My first 3 days were with my, duty weapon, which was issued way back, and I constantly got it, which was a Glock 19, and it's a Gen 4, and I had it for 5 years or so. So right after they came out with the 4, I got one, and that was the one that I used. Can't shoot the darn thing for a while. It's just not what I needed. And then the last day, I switched to my carry gun, which is a CZ. P10C, and all my rounds were where they needed to be. And then everybody's like, "Why did you not use that the first day?" And I'm like, "I was trying to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to practice. So I didn't start with this good stuff." Yeah, it was interesting. So the CZ is just a beautiful, smooth gun, ergonomically shaped to my hand, and it works so much better than my beloved Glock 19, which was something that I always had for the longest time.
Well, good. Yeah, so we're running YouTube live, and someone on here says Todd took a deep breath when Daniel said Glock 19.
I was hoping you'd say 1911. I was hoping.
I do own one, but it's not my carry duty. No.
Why not? Why don't you carry that 1911? We need to get into it a little bit.
Well, because I am not, like I said, it took me a little bit to figure out that I'm not good with the Glock 19 because that was the one I carried for the longest time. That one is my baby. That's the one that you carry in a nice little leather holster, and you kind of baby it because it's a Kimbo that I got. I don't know. I love to show off with that one.
It's 1911. Jam every 3 rounds. I gave the guy who said he was related to John Moses, but I said, why are you carrying a Beretta PX Storm of all things?
That's a good question.
And not a 1911. He said he had a 1911. He just bought one, his first one. I said, well, where is it? He goes, well, I gave it to a friend because he's working on it. You just freaking bought it. It's working on it. You need to have a talk with your great grandpa about why he couldn't get these things.
I got my 1911. It was a Kimber, and then the Kimber, you get a good one or you get a bad one.
Yeah.
The one I got is a bad one. Been in Kimber like twice already for some work. So I get it. The struggle is real.
There was a definite, I don't know what year it was, where after the certain year, all the Kimbers are trouble. So, I mean, and it's just, I haven't seen a good Kimber ever, but I think the good ones are kept in the safe as safe queens, to be honest with you. What I love is when someone shows up with those, I forget what they are, those, I call them 1911 variants. They're the 9mm Kimbers, those little tiny ones, a little compact. Oh my gosh, those things slow up a class like no other, man. They jam up all the time. It's just complete trouble. Those guys, and I'm making lots of friends.
Yeah, I carry the Glock 19 in my box every time somebody shows up with a 1911. At a certain point, I'm going to hand them that one.
There you go. I can take the switch from a 1911 to a Glock. I can understand that switch. Once they get that Glock, you need to switch them into something else quick. I don't know, maybe like an HK.
Yeah, my man's got a CZ, so I have the CZ, and that's a good gun.
Yeah, no, those CZs they're nice guns. I had the opportunity a while back to this guy came and hosted a class here, and
oh yeah, that was a CZ man.
Yeah, it was a CZ man. He's sponsored by CZ, and what was his name? Hirstoff. I can't remember. Rawson Hirstoff with TPC, and he's sponsored by CZ. And he got out his competition gun, a CZ Shadow Systems. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And it wasn't good enough when he got it, so he did more work on it. That trigger is absolutely insane. Just, oh man, I want one bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree.
So so this actually brings us into talking about triggers just a little bit. I do a radio show, and I have a co-host on there, and he likes to go against everything I say some days. And anyhow, he was talking about aftermarket triggers, and it got me to thinking, I can see it both ways. And this is what he said, right? And I've heard this before. I've heard this in a lot of other classes I've taken and whatnot. And, I agree. When you go to shoot a gun, you need to learn the trigger inside and out, whether it's a stock trigger, whether it's aftermarket, you need to know that trigger. Whether it's a crappy Glock trigger, you need to know how to run that trigger, right? And work that trigger, and that's how you're going to make the gun shoot. That's like 90% of it right there. So he said, he was talking, he goes, I don't believe anyone, and I don't believe him necessarily, but this is what he said. He goes, I don't believe anyone should put an aftermarket trigger, and I think you need to learn to use your stock trigger. I think an aftermarket trigger, is going to be too light, and I think that, you could accidentally shoot someone. I'm like, what? Where did all this come from? It's not good in a self-defense situation, and I'm like, who are you? So I see it as you can improve upon a gun, right? But if you're obeying safety rules, if you're doing everything you're supposed to do, that gun, unless that trigger is just the aftermarket trigger, is just solely unsafe, and you can breathe on it like the SIG P320, and it'll go bang, I mean, I don't see a problem with a good aftermarket trigger. I see them as enhancing the firearm so that you're able to shoot it more accurately. And I think that it's nothing but a benefit to you. What do you guys think? I mean, we'll start with you, Cajun Cowboy.
The triggers they put in there, a lot of that is marketing, because they're going to come out with another model later with an improved trigger and make you buy a whole new gun. And a lot of it involves attorneys and everything. A lot of this goes through attorneys to get cleared before they release this stuff. I mean, it's not done on accident. These guys can make a great trigger. So they putting these triggers in there for a couple of reasons like that. Either to lower liability, because you always have people coming out with something new, and like the 320. I mean, we don't know you haven't done an experiment yet, but there's always people that's claiming this gun's not safe. So you want your gun safe, and then later on, obviously they only change one thing at a time. The next generation will have good sights. And then the next generation will have a good trigger and bad sights.
Yeah.
And then the next generation will have good sights and good trigger. They know what they do.
And then they'll get one that you can start swapping out barrels. And I mean, it happens. We see it all the time. So, okay. Well, what's your take on it?
Well, I have one of those. aftermarket triggers. Love them. And it all depends. I do agree that you have to learn the trigger that you have.
Yes.
And if you change a trigger, then you need to learn that one too. It makes a difference when you start shooting a little bit faster and going into competition and stuff like that. Yeah, those upgraded triggers or aftermarket triggers will do the job. They'll do a job better than the stock trigger. So it depends on the purpose. And if you're good at what you're doing, you're safe. I don't see a problem, putting that on a carry gun at all.
Right. And I look at it the same as with a red dot, right? You shouldn't just go straight to a red dot. You obviously need to learn how to use your iron sights. And even me, as much as I shoot my red dot, I've got 2 VP9s, one set up for red dot, one not, because I was too stubborn to actually cut the slide. So I bought another one that had slide cut. And now I just swap slides is all I do. But so I do go back to the irons, and I think you need to know how to run iron sights. You need to know how to run a red dot, just the same as you need to know how to run that crappy, horrible Glock trigger, stock Glock trigger, and you need to know how to run my Lazy Wolf trigger as well, right? I mean, because they're two different. I will say this: my Lazy Wolf trigger still works fantastic. It broke somewhere along the line. It's got that little, the little safety trigger in the middle, the little safety catch thing. Yep. It freaking broke. Half of it's missing. I don't know where it went. The thing rides around in my holster all day, right? I shoot it on the range. How do you break that? It's a chunk of metal. It broke in half.
If you don't want to change triggers, just buy a Canic.
Oh yeah. Canics. They're the best trigger I've ever felt from the factory. Not coming from a performance shop.
Yeah, just coming stock with the gun, even their lowest price model. Yeah, excellent triggers.
Have you shot any of the Canics, Daniel?
No. I like I said, seen them a bunch of them in the ranges. Love to put my hands on at least a few of them.
Oh my gosh, it's like perfection out of the box. I mean, it really is perfection out of the box.
We need to record that and hang on to it. I'm gonna download that as a soundbite.
Oh, they really are. And I mean, and here we got Tarver over here. He looked for years. You were looking for the perfect gun.
I bought a lot of them.
He bought a lot of guns looking for the perfect gun.
Yep.
Now he found one.
Found it. Game over. I stopped.
Game over.
Now he's got like a couple.
I still got them laying around.
So, well, you spent some time, Daniel, over at Front Sight. But I'll have you tell us about that. But before we get to that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, what you do, the business that you run, kind of your background, your history. Start at day one. I'm just kidding. Start as far back as you want to start. Just tell us a little.
I was born to two parents of a humble house. In the manger. No, I was born and raised in Israel, so I had to go to the military over there. Did 3 years there and left. Traveled the world for about a year and then came back. Got my college on, and then ended up finishing college here in the U.S. Long story short, did security and law enforcement volunteer for the longest time. I'm a ham radio operator, basic nerd. And long story short, ended up starting this company, ETAFirearms, about 2.5 years ago, where I was involved with a local synagogue here in Arizona, and where I live currently, and then they were interested in establishing a security teams. So I've been doing that myself and one other guy for the past 7.5 years. And 3-4 years ago, they started asking for a little bit more training. And that kind of pushed me into, okay, I've been doing safety security investigations for the longest time, and it's time to get back to it because apparently I'm good at that. My initial degree was in hotel restaurant, and after about 7 years in that industry, I figured that I don't like to work when everybody else is off, and vice versa. So, I still work for a major Fortune 500 company. I'm an investigator and loss prevention manager, large territory. With the COVID mandate, nobody knows how long that's going to be for, if the gig is up or not, but love what I do. And then ETA is another love because it kind of like hits the right spots for me. It hits education and bring people up, and the kind of ETA is a short for Empower Training Academy, and it's all about empowerment. It's all about putting people basically able to have their own say in their lives and be able to protect themselves or defend themselves or at least be empowered. And we do special things with women only. My fiance is a domestic abuse survivor, so we take all of these things together and we kind of put them together. She's the one that's running my women's only. I'm there just to make sure that it's official, but she runs it. She does everything for women only and women empowerment, and we have a lot of things going on. But it's fun. It's a labor of love, and I know it is for you as well, because I hear you enough talking about that, and it's just fun thing. It's just getting people to touch something that they usually are afraid of or have some sort of a fear, and then seeing them kind of like click the moment they actually got it and they understand what it is, and it's like, oh my God, they actually have it, and then to see the improvement day by day, lesson by lesson. Those that do get it, and because we have those that just don't. But most of the people that we deal with are new people. We're getting into the advanced CCW right now, but most of the people that we normally deal with are on both ends of the political spectrum, but new gun owners nonetheless, and it's fun to see the light bulb flickers on.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, I met Daniel. I met you through, we'll let the listeners know, through some online classes and stuff like that we were taking, that have to do with firearms and marketing and all this other stuff. And it's funny listening, and I'm sure you picked up on it as well. There's lots of guys, even the guy instructing the class, he'll say, hey, look, we're all in it for different reasons. And he said he likes the advanced type shooters. He likes to teach that kind of stuff. That's what he enjoys. And I do too, but man, my heart really, my passion is with the new shooter, right? It's the person who wants to learn, who's done very little, or is just picking up a gun for the first time, or is
I'm just thinking of it.
Okay. Or I look over here, I'm being laughed at.
Now, whenever you talk, sometimes I paint pictures in my head of this new gun. I'm just like, oh, no. Go ahead. But I'm amusing myself.
That's okay. It's it's that, the woman maybe that came from a bad relationship or whatever it is, right? The woman whose husband just died and she feels like she needs to protect her kids. And I really, I think we're on the same page, right? The same wavelength. I think we're in it for the same reasons. And you talked about your women's courses, and I was explaining to you about mine the other day and about how, man, it was phenomenal. I told you we did a little bit of like open hand type combat, type stuff. And those women were they left there just jazzed and just empowered and just excited, right? I mean, it's fun. I've got to watch them change since they started this in February to will end next month. And the change that some of them have gone through is just phenomenal. The confidence level, everything.
Absolutely. It's fun to see them change. It's fun to see them grow. It's fun to get the reviews back that, they feel better. They feel more empowered. They feel more secure. They feel that they can do things that they never did before. So it breaks a lot of other things for them. So it's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for them.
Yeah. So you actually spent, I remember you were actually attending our last meeting. You were actually driving to Front Sight. So you were driving to Pahrump, Nevada. Man, I've been through kind of by Pahrump. I like Pahrump because I like the old Art Bell stuff. I don't know if you know who Art Bell was, but an old radio talk show host that did his show live in the middle of the night from Pahrump, Nevada.
That's where he was from?
Pahrump, Nevada, somewhere outside of Area 51. I freaking love that show. But anyhow, so tell us about your experience. What did you sign up for? What did you take? I mean, how long were you there? Just tell us all the ins and outs. We're excited.
So I was awarded one of those lifetime memberships for Front Sight, and it took about 6 months to 8 months to kind of get some dates lined up and be able to go. So October 1st was October 1st to October 4th, 4-day handgun class, and it was a defensive handgun, which was pretty it was a cool wake up call. I mean, I've been shooting a while. I've been, doing some tactical. I've been doing various stands and various things, but they teach in a very, very specific way. First day, both of us, my buddy and I were getting there, and it's oh my God, they're going over the basics. What are we doing here? Second day, they picked up the pace, and it was phenomenal. The next 3 days later, it was just phenomenal. It was a lot to learn. A lot was challenged. A lot of things that I knew, a lot of things that I did were challenged. Will I tell you that I'm going to shoot the Weaver stance? Probably not. But it was, when I was there, I did exactly as I was told and exactly as they requested or instructed there. And it was phenomenal. I've managed to get a lot faster. I managed to get a lot more accurate. I managed to get a lot of new skills and a lot of ways to also instruct and teach, because the way they were running the range, the way they were correcting mistakes and identifying things, a couple of drills that you can do. It was phenomenal. It was great 4 days of shooting 700 rounds, which, any day in the range is a great day. But it's just fun to go do that. And, this is going to be the first time that I was there. And I think we have another 2 day going on in the next 6 months. We're going to go back there again for like a 2 day, I think they call it tactical. So it's going to be fun.
So what class did you sign up? Maybe you said it, I missed it. What class did you sign up for this time? The first.
It's the 4 day defensive handgun.
Defensive handgun. Okay. And so they started out with the very basics, and you do have to start out with the basics. You have to kind of make sure everyone's on the same page, because
exactly.
You have to teach teach the least experienced person in the class. And so if you can get him up to speed or that person up to speed, then the next 2 days are going to go a little bit better for everybody.
That's exactly what happened. Exactly.
So did they had you shoot the Weaver stance? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So it's the Weaver stance. Hands are, completely different than what we are taught, facing the target, as much hand or as much meat on the gun. So all the thumbs are like standing up on the back. It was very weird, very different. But again, while I was there, I did what I was told.
Sure. Except
for the third day, I switched into my better gun, and I was able to shoot better. So the main instructor, the chief instructor, he looks at me and goes, "Why didn't you start with this before? Because now you can shoot straight." I was always a little bit to the left.
Freaking Glocks. Freaking Glocks.
It's just always to the left. And as soon as I put that thing in my hand, it felt so much better. I started shooting like dead center, and he goes, "You could have made a distinguished graduate here and then finish it." I'm like, "I'm all right. I'll come the next time and do it." But yeah, it's Pahrump is good old Pahrump. You blink, you passed it. But I do love the old towns. I do love the wilderness there, and not too many people, which is fun for me. It came from Israel to New York, New Jersey area, and that was way too many people on a per square mile. And I can't wait to kind of get out of this, and ended up in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is just about the same as New York. Too many people on a square mile. So it was fun to be
hot.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't shovel sunshine, so we're better.
Well, okay.
So, yeah, it was fun. It was a great time.
Yeah, no, it sounds like good. It's one of those things where you go, and the Weaver stance may not be for you, right? But it's one of those things where you go, you have to go open-minded. I encourage everyone to, when they come to class, be open-minded, listen, learn, add it to, and it sounds so cliche, but add it to your toolbox, man. It's there. You can take a little bit of what you've learned from this class and a little bit of what you've learned from this class, and you can make your own systems. How do people think shooting systems are even created, right? I mean, it's because people have developed what has worked for them, and then they'll go out and they'll teach it, right? Or if they're not teaching, it's there and they can draw from that pool of knowledge whenever they need to. And so I know that if I showed up and had to shoot the Weaver stance, That would be difficult for me because Todd doesn't shoot the Weaver stance. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel normal. But I mean, if you're going to the class, you're there to learn their knowledge and learn, there to learn new things. You have to be open-minded and just kind of soak it all up and take it all in. I know when I went and took some TPC classes, it was kind of odd because they taught some really different stuff from what I was used to. And I had to force myself to trash everything else I knew and just listen to this, right? And learn this and try not to fall back on the old stuff so I could benefit from the class.
Yeah, that's actually my next class is going to be the TPC stuff. Yeah. The guy that put it all together for us, was Miles, and I love the concept. And when you go to anybody else's class, listen, learn, take it all in. And it's the supermarket technique. Take whatever you want. You don't take everything in the supermarket. You just take what you need. So it was a great time. And if anybody has the chance to, get one of those classes, 2-day, 4-day, whatever, I highly, highly recommend doing that. It's an experience. They have over 50 ranges in there, and they're beautifully manicured in the middle of the desert. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds like they do all kinds of classes. They got like rappelling classes and all kinds of stuff. I was kind of glancing through. I mean, was there like just tons of people there taking multiple different classes all over the place, or? So
they're a little bit not fully open because of the shortage of ammo and stuff like that. Our class was back to normal 700 rounds. They actually before kind of reduced it. But when we were there for the weekend class, there were over 450 people for the 4-day and the 2-day in various classes, the shotgun, the handgun, and the rifle. So it's about 450. And then when we left, the last day, actually, I think it was a Tuesday or Monday, there was the new class for the midweek that arrived, and there was altogether, I would say, another 450, 500 people in addition. So it's big. It's big. You drive through miles and miles of like desert, and then you make a right turn, and you have like 50 ranges on your left and 25 on your right. It's phenomenal.
Are you ready to make your road trip, Cajun Cowboy?
That sounds insane, man.
Let's go, man. Grief. Take your Canic.
Hey, I can give him a 4-day class for sure. So if you guys want it, let me know.
we're both looking at each other.
I'm waiting to get fired from my job any day now. So as soon as that happens, I keep waiting for the mandates. I'm like, that'll do it, and they just dragging their feet.
Someday I call him on Fridays, and he's like, I'm still here. But then you're gonna have to.
I put my religious exemption, and hopefully that'll work. They've been good to me. It's a good company, but I'm not taking the jab. Sorry, just not happening in this house.
I'm gonna try the exemption myself.
My boss isn't gonna make me get it. He's kind of an asshole, though. I got to watch out for him. So you were go ahead, and I'll let you. Let me. You actually were kind enough to go ahead and donate something to my Patreon. And I'll let you go ahead and explain what that is.
So, I love helping people, and, that kind of, we were talking about 1,000 other things, and that kind of popped into my head, and I said, you know what? I have a few of these memberships that I can, transfer to people. And what we did is we're going to donate a Front Sight Patriot membership, and that is a $5,000 value if you go buy it yourself. And it actually provides you with the following things. You're going to be able to attend the Front Sight Nevada courses free of charge as often as you like and as many times as you wish for the following courses: 2-day defensive handgun, 2-day tactical shotgun, 2-day practical rifle, 4-day defensive handgun, and 4-day tactical shotgun, as well as 4-day practical rifle. Now, it also includes a lot of other things. Invitation to the annual 4th of July extravaganza, your name etched in the future First Family Monument. You have access to their library and things of that nature on their website. And you get, the front side hat for sure. But there's a lot of good things out there, and then you can always add classes or anything like that. But those classes that I mentioned, it's for free as many times as you want. And it's a lifetime membership, and it's also, you can will it to your family or anybody else after you. So that's almost like a family heirloom, when the time comes. So I have, a few of those, and we decided to go ahead and provide it to your supporters. And anybody that is a supporter and anybody that will become a supporter by December 31st will enter into the raffle to win one of those memberships.
And that's it, that signs up to be a Patreon. You can go. I'll leave the Patreon link at the bottom or in the show notes, right? And I'll even throw it up on Facebook. I haven't actually announced this yet. This is being announced right now. You can click on that, be a Patreon. Literally a Patreon. When you're a Patreon member, it'll enter you in for the drawing for the raffle for this lifetime membership. This Patriot lifetime membership over at Front Sight. And every month, what I do is I throw up a couple. I haven't got any up this month because I'm just now getting my voice back. But I'll throw up a couple instructional videos, and I even throw up some extra podcasts. They're just kind of stuff that I don't talk about on the pretty much complaints and all that good, all the fun stuff that you won't hear on the podcast. You'll hear as a Patreon member, and I think that's like $5 a month, right? It's $5 a month. It'll get you all that. So it's about it. I don't know. I don't drink fancy coffee, but it's probably as much or almost as much as a fancy cup of coffee, right? A month. You can get a little training in, and you can lose your cup of coffee for the day. I think that's a fair trade.
I think so.
So anything big going forward for your business as far as you getting stuff lined out for the next year? I know I'm just kind of in the middle of that right now, trying to get stuff scheduled, trying to find out if I've got a free weekend to run a race or two, if I'm going to schedule classes on all of them. That's always the big thing this time of year. You got big stuff going forward on yours, or?
Yeah, so my advanced CCW class is actually going very well. A lot of good interest on that. So that's going to be one of the go-to classes for next year. Obviously, CCW classes are going to be normal. And then partnered with a few people and a few organizations. We're going to do Stop the Bleed classes. I'm an instructor right now, so we can do that as well. So anybody who buy one of those either IFAKs or family first aid kit will get a free class with that. And then there's a lot of good things coming up. Memberships coming up. We have a membership here for it's limited to 20 people, and we have 2 levels. Level 1 will include 2 local gun ranges that you can go in and you'll become a member automatically under that membership. Plus, the higher end of it, you'll get 1 year of a firearms legal protection for the basic membership. So that's going to be your membership for insurance or for any type of self-defense. It doesn't require you to use a gun. It could be a knife, could be a chair, could be anything except for your hands.
Tennis racket.
So all these things, everything else like that. So, there's a lot of things going on. It's just a matter of launching that, and everything is probably going to launch all at once because that's usually what happens.
Yes.
But yeah, it's happening. It's happening. A lot of good things are happening.
Good. No, that's fantastic. So when TPC comes back next year and they do their class here, it'd be their Handgun Mastery 1. Are you going to come down to this one, or are you going to try to find a closer one?
Well, I'm already thinking about the one in I think they're in San Diego, coming out in November. But if I didn't take it by then by all means, you tell me when you have anything over there, and if I can make it, I will.
Yeah, I think
as long as it's not winter and it's kind of like white stuff on the ground, I'm allergic to that stuff.
Yeah, no. We did this one in August this year. So I think you need to hold off in San Diego, and I think you'd like it here a lot better. We got sagebrush and
we got tumbleweeds.
We do have tumbleweeds, and we've got the snake. We've got the Snake River, and anyhow, I'll encourage you to hold off so you can come out here and meet me.
I'll do it anyway. So
that's a big benefit.
We'll just create another class, and I'll get to come see you, and then we can write it off. That's all. Do a class together.
That works for me, man. I'm all about writing stuff off.
Hey, they wrote it in. We're going to use it.
Yeah, they wrote me off a long time ago. So, so we got some interest, and I didn't. So I got you on the phone, so I can't pull up the article on my phone. But let's talk about Hawaii. I saw an article that I want to mention. Hawaii they're getting a little panicky. They're trying to figure out how they're going to handle this. We got big news coming out of Hawaii.
Wild West.
It's going to be the Wild West. The ban on stun guns it's sunsetting on January 1st, and they don't quite know how they're handling. They said they're gearing up to handle that.
Hide your grandma. It's coming. The apocalypse is upon us.
Poor Hawaii, man. That place.
Are these tasers or that shoot projectiles, or are these the little
stun guns that shoot the little electrodes?
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, the little electrodes. It's the end of the world over there.
So eighth graders in middle school hallways everywhere are in danger,
shooting tasers,
shooting each other. That's
shooting stun guns.
Toy.
Have you ever been shot with one of those?
No, but I'm willing.
Are you?
Sure, why not?
Ooh, I'll locate one. What about you, Daniel? Have you been shot with one of those?
I have done a taser, but not those guys.
The
actual taser one.
I think that if I was able to shoot the Cajun Cowboy with one, that'd make a really great Patreon video.
We used to hit each other with electronic capture shields.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I will pay $10 for that.
That thing will light you up.
What, the shields?
Yeah. It's a U-shaped shield with handles behind it, and you just slam somebody against the wall, and you press the triggers on the side, and it lights them up. Ow! Sound like you got a cat stuck. Wow.
That sounds entirely like it's way too much fun. I tell you what, Daniel, you can come up here though. I haven't been able to get anyone to even sign up for a class with these, but I got 1,000 rounds of Sims. I got 1,000 Sims rounds, and I got 3 Sims guns and all the gear. You come down here, we'll make us some videos.
I'm in.
Okay, sweet. It's just gathering dust in the safe. I offered to have people let me shoot them, and they won't. No one will take me up on it.
It's got a little sting to it now.
Did I pop you with one?
Yeah, you did.
I did, didn't I?
I'm just minding my own business.
Yeah. Well, I was making a video with a friend of mine. We were doing the 21 foot drill, right? The Tooler drill.
Uh-huh.
And I was wearing a real heavy duty sweatshirt hoodie, and my buddy, I was moving in on him, and he had to shoot me. I was the guy with the knife, and man, it busted right through that sweatshirt and broke skin, man. Those things were crazy. But what was interesting was I was able to clear the 20. I was able to cheat my way up to him. He knew what was going on. I mean, he knew the agenda. And by the time I got to him, he was unloading that gun on me, and he was cowering on the ground in the corner. It was
after you already stabbed him 3 times. He's still shooting.
Oh, yeah. That part wasn't realistic. I'm like, well, gee, you can freaking quit now. But yeah, those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you're not the one getting hit.
Oh, I got the safety gear, man. We're all good. You
got to put the gear on.
Yeah, I got it, and I'll even wipe it down for COVID. Actually, most of it's not even out of the freaking packaging that it came in. It's just shoved up in the closet up there.
Oh, if you come here, we'll go to a CalCon here, and I'll get you full class, man.
What'd you say?
If you come down here to Arizona, bring all that stuff.
Okay.
I'll fill your class up. It's going to be full. Half of my team in the synagogue will do it, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of people waiting for that. I have people asking for it. I just didn't make enough money to go ahead and buy it.
I did, and so far it's been a loss. But I was able to write it off, so it wasn't really a loss. And occasionally I convince my buddies to let me shoot them, so it's not. It's kind of paid
Well,
for.
that's some fun.
That is fun. We'll get together. We'll make this happen. That sounds like a lot of fun. But you got anything else you want to bring up, Cajun Cowboy?
I'm good, man.
You good? What about you, Daniel? You got any parting words? Where can people find your website? You got a website? You got contact info? Because what I'm going to do is, who knows? Maybe I have some people down here that have family in Arizona, and
we got listeners in Arizona.
We got listeners in Arizona, and what I'd like to do is when I get this all uploaded and everything, I'll send you all the links, and you can, if you want to, you can share them, you can throw them up. And you might as well plug yourself and get your contact info, your website out there, your Facebook, whatever you got. Go for it.
Awesome. So it's www.eta, as estimated time of arrival, ETAFirearms, all one word, .com. And then we're also on Facebook as ETA Firearms. Instagram is also ETA Firearms, just to make it simple for everybody. You can come up with any specific or special name. Just ETA, Empower Training Academy. We're, here for anybody in Arizona, and we also travel if we need to, when, my real job doesn't get in the way. And that's about it, guys. Everything is like we say in Israel, everything is peaches and cream. It's awesome, and life is good. And if anybody needs anything, they want to talk about anything, I don't charge to talk. So if you guys have questions down here or anywhere else, I don't charge for talking. You can see I talk a lot.
Late at night when I can't sleep. I'm going to go ahead and call you. What are you doing? I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm feeling kind of depressed. What are you doing, Daniel? You're like, I was trying to sleep. I'll go ahead. Sometimes I need to stay awake on my early morning runs. I'll just go ahead and call you about 4 o'clock. How's that sound?
Sounds good. It's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning. My phone will go right to voicemail. No problem.
Oh, man. That's no fun. So, okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and I think we're just going to wrap this up. So I got my normal stuff I got to do here. So I want to tell everyone, hey, I appreciate everybody listening. And Daniel, I appreciate you coming on. It was good to have you on the podcast and chat with you. And I know we'll stay in touch. Stay on the phone, though. I want to talk to you afterwards. But I tell you what, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go ahead and share this on your social media. I would much appreciate it. If you listen to the podcast version of this, which will be uploaded in the morning, I'm going to say in the morning. I still need to eat dinner. In the morning, go ahead and you can post that on your social media, share it with your family, your friends. That'd be fantastic. If you got any comments or questions or you got questions about classes or want to sign up or something, you can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Don't forget, if you sign up as a Patreon from now till the end of the year, so the end of 2021, you can get registered to be put into a raffle to win a Patriot membership to Front Sight, and I'll have the Patreon link down in the notes. You can click on that, get signed up, and I'll make sure you get in the drawing for that. And other than that, I think we're done. By the way, we lost our Australia listener.
Matt.
I'm irritated. Our Australia listener, I think they cut off.
I'm big in Africa, bro. I'm big in Africa.
You know what? Now we're gonna see. Now that I finish this off. So the Cajun Cowboy over here does a podcast called Forgotten American.
Yeah, sometimes.
And you occasionally, for as little as you do it, you sent me a screenshot. And where are you big at? You were number 20. What was it?
The Republic of Senegal.
And you were number 25.
23.
23.
Don't disrespect me.
So I've been doing this. We've been doing this for what, 4 years now?
I looked you up.
3 years?
You didn't rank?
I didn't rank.
I
ranked nothing. I'm not ranked.
Number 23.
And you've got like 15 podcasts. The heck? You need to shout me out more, man. I tell you what.
I think there's not many iPhone users in the Republic of Senegal.
So we got to fix that. I'm not sure. But until then, I tell you what, I will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.